Today we will discuss regarding limits, fits and tolerances. Limits. The maximum and minimum permissible sizes within which the actual size of a component lies are called limits. Limits are fixed with reference to the basic size of that dimension. Upper limit means the higher limit for that dimension is the largest size permitted, and the lower limit is the smallest size permitted for that dimension. So it is impossible to make all parts exactly alike and to exact dimensions by different operators on different machines. Means no two parts can be produced with identical measurements by any manufacturing process. In any production process, regardless of how well it is designed or how carefully it is maintained, a certain amount of natural variability will always exist. It is therefore some permissible variation in dimension has to be allowed to account for variability. The dimensions of the manufactured part is made to lie between two limits, that is maximum and minimum. Therefore, the ranges of permissible difference in dimensions is called limits. The limits has two extreme permissible sizes between which the actual size of a dimension may lie. The designer has to suggest these tolerance limits which are acceptable for each of the dimensions used to define shape and form and ensure satisfactory operation in service. For example, a shaft has to be manufactured to a diameter of 40, and the upper limit and lower limit it is given plus or minus 0.02 mm. This means that the shaft which has a basic size of 40 mm will be acceptable if its diameter lies anywhere between the limits of sizes, that is an upper limit of 40.02 mm means 40 plus 0.02 equal to 40.02 mm, and a lower limit of 39.98 mm means 40 minus 0.02 mm is equal to 39.98 mm. So this is regarding the upper limit and lower limit. Now the tolerance. Tolerance can be defined as the magnitude of permissible variation of a dimension or other measured value from the specified value. The permissible variation in size or dimension is called tolerance. The difference between the upper limit and the lower limit of a dimension represents the margin, and it is called as tolerance zone. So, the tolerance can also be defined as the amount by which the job is allowed to go away from accuracy without causing any functional trouble. You can see the example of tolerance. See, you can see the previous example. The shaft has to be manufactured to a diameter of 40. 40 means it is a basic size, and the limits are given plus or minus 0.02 mm. It means upper limit is plus 0.02 mm and lower limit is minus 0.002 mm. Okay, so the upper limit or the upper size, you can say it is a 40.02 mm, and the lower size of the shaft will be 39.98 mm. So the permissible tolerance that will be equal to upper limit minus lower limit. So upper limit is 40.02 minus lower limit is 39.98 is equal to 0.04. So 0.04, that will be the tolerance. Then systems of writing tolerances or classification of tolerance. So tolerance can be classified under the following categories. First is unilateral tolerance, second bilateral tolerance, third compound tolerance, and fourth geometric tolerance. So first is unilateral tolerance. So when the tolerance distribution is only on one side of the basic size, it is known as unilateral tolerance. In the other words, tolerance limits lie wholly on one side of the basic size, either above or below it. So you can see the example of unilateral tolerance. So 40, the limits are given plus 0.02 and lower limit is plus 0.01. So it is lie on a one side, means only on a plus side, not on a negative side. So it is a example of unilateral tolerance. Second example, 40 plus 0.02 and minus 0.00 means it is in a upward side, on a plus side. Another example, 40 minus 0.01 and lower limit is minus 0.02. So it is on a minus side, only on one side of the basic size. And the fourth is 40 plus 0.00 and minus 0.02. So it is again on a minus side. So this is an example of unilateral tolerance. So in this system, the dimensions of the part is allowed to vary on one side of the basic size. It may be positive side or it may be the negative side, but only on one side. Then bilateral tolerance. So before that, we will see the advantages of unilateral system. So unilateral system is preferred in interchangeable manufacture, especially when precision fits are required, because it is easy and simpler to determine variations. Go gauge ends can be standardized as the holes of different tolerance grades have the same lower limit and all the shafts have same upper limit. And the main advantage is the operator can machine to the upper limit of shaft and lower limit of hole, because he still has some margin left for machining before the parts are rejected. Then bilateral tolerance. When the tolerance distribution lies on either side of the basic size, it is known as bilateral tolerance. In other words, the dimension of the part is allowed to vary on both sides of the basic size, but may not be necessarily equally disposed about it. So the example is 40 plus or minus 0.02, or you can write it like that, 40 plus 0.02 minus 0.01. So it is, so bilateral tolerance, it is lies in between plus and minus. So in this system, it is not possible to retain the same fit when tolerance is varied. So you can see in a diagram A, that is a unilateral system, basic size is 40 mm, and B, diagram B, you can see it is a bilateral. So on a zero line, there is a, above the zero line it is a plus and below the zero line it is a minus. So it is a bilateral tolerance. So the dimensions of the part is allowed to vary on both the sides of the basic size. Then compound tolerance. When tolerance is determined by established tolerances on more than one dimension, it is known as compound tolerance. So example it is given. So tolerance for the dimension R is determined by combined effect of tolerance on 40 mm dimension, you can see in a diagram, on 60 degree plus or minus 2 degree, and on 20 mm dimension. So the tolerance obtained for dimension R is known as compound tolerance. Then geometric tolerance, that is, it is used to indicate the relationship of one part of an object with another. So that geometric tolerance, that is shown in a diagram. Then the relationship between the work tolerance and manufacturing cost. So it is very pertinent to relate the production of components within the specified tolerance or the tolerance zone to its associated manufacturing cost. As the permissive tolerance or permissible tolerance goes on decreasing, the manufacturing cost incurred to achieve it goes on increasing exponentially. When the permissible tolerance limits are relaxed without regarding the functional requirements, the manufacturing cost decreases. Then maximum and minimum metal conditions. Now, first of all, we will see the maximum and minimum metal conditions or limits for the shaft. So for the shaft, at higher limit of shaft, the shaft has maximum possible amount of metal called mml of shaft. Mml means it is a maximum metal limit. mml means maximum metal limit. So at higher limit of shaft, the shaft has maximum possible amount of metal, that is called mml of shaft. And LML of shaft, that is at lower limit of shaft, it has least possible amount of metal called LML of shaft. LML means it is a least metal limit, that is called a LML of the shaft. And now for the hole, at lower limit of the hole, it has maximum possible amount of metal called mml of hole. And at higher limit of hole, it has least possible amount of metal called LML of hole. So you can see in a diagram, there is a shaft that is shown, and at the left hand side there is a hole. So for the shaft, you can see the mml, that is maximum metal limit. Maximum metal limit. So you can see the maximum metal limit because it has a maximum possible amount of metal, that is called the mml of shaft, and least possible amount of metal, that is called LML of shaft. You can see in a diagram. Now or see on a left hand side, that is LML and mml for hole. So for hole, when there is a maximum possible amount of metal in a hole, that is called mml of hole. You can see there is a maximum amount of metal in a hole. Then when there is a least possible amount of metal, that is called LML of hole. You can see in a diagram. So let us consider a shaft having a dimension of 40 plus or minus 0.05 mm. The maximum metal limit of a shaft will have a dimension of 40.05 mm because at this higher limit, the shaft will have a maximum possible amount of metal. The shaft will have the least possible amount of metal at a lower limit of 39.95. So 39.95 means 40 minus the lower limit, that is given 0.05, that will be equal to 39.95 mm, and this limit of shaft is known as minimum or least metal limit, that is LML. Similarly, consider a hole having the dimension of 45. 45 it is a basic size, and plus or minus upper limit and lower limit it is given plus or minus 0.05 mm. That means the hole will have a maximum possible amount of metal at a lower limit of 44.95 mm, and the lower limit of the hole is designed as a mml. For example, when a hole is drilled in a component, minimum amount of material is removed at a lower limit size of the hole. The lower limit of the hole is known as mml. The higher limit of hole will be the LML. So at high limit, that is 40.05 mm, the hole will have the least possible amount of metal, because that metal that is removed, so it has a least possible amount of metal. So that is shown in a figure. Then fits. So fit may be defined as a degree of tightness or looseness between two mating parts to perform a definite function when they are assembled together. So it is the relationship between the two mating parts with respect to the amount of play or tightness which is present when they are assembled together. So accordingly, a fit may be result either in a movable joint or in a fixed joint. So this is a classification of fits. So it is classified as, so on the basis of positive, 0 and negative values of clearance, there are three basic types of fits: clearance fit, transition fit, and interference fit. So clearance fit, that can be again subclassified as slide fit, easy slide fit, running fit, slack running fit, loose running fit. Then transition fit, that can be subclassified as push fit and ringing fit. And interference fit, that can be subclassified as force or press fit, driving fit, tight fit, shrink fit, and freeze fit. So the first fit, type of fit, or you can say the category of fit that we will see, it is a clearance fit. So the clearance fit means the largest permissible diameter of the shaft is smaller than the diameter of the smallest hole. So you can see in a diagram. So largest permissible diameter of the shaft, that is shown in a figure, is that will be smaller than the diameter of the smallest hole. So this type of fit always provides clearance. So small clearances are provided for the precise fit that can be easily be assembled without the assistance of tools. So in this type of fit, shaft is always smaller than the hole. That means the largest permissible shaft diameter is smaller than the diameter of the smallest permissible hole, so that the shaft can rotate or slide through with different degrees of freedom according to the purpose of mating parts. So you can see in a diagram, that is a clearance fit. Then different types of clearance fits are first is slide fit. So this type of fit has a very small clearance. Sliding fits are employed when the mating parts are required to move slowly in relation to each other. For example, tailstock spindle of the lathe. Then second type of the clearance fit is easy slide fit. This type of fit provides for a small guaranteed clearance. It serves to ensure alignment between shaft and hole, and it is applicable for slow and non-regular motion. For example, spindle of the lathe. Then running fit. It is often when there is a appreciable clearance between the mating parts. The clearance provides a sufficient space for the lubrication film between mating friction surfaces. It is employed for rotation of moderate speed. For example, gearbox, bearings, shaft pulleys, etc. Then slack running fit. It is obtained when there is a considerable clearance between the mating parts. This type of fit may be required as compensation for mounting errors. For example, shaft top centrifugal pump. And last type of clearance fit is loose running fit. So it is employed for rotation at very high speed. For example, ideal pulley used in a quick return mechanism of a planer. Then second category of the fit is interference fit. So in this type of fit, the minimum permissible diameter of the shaft, that is minimum diameter of the shaft, is larger than the maximum permissible diameter of the hole. So the minimum permissible diameter of the shaft exceeds the maximum allowable diameter of the hole. Thus, the shaft and the hole members are intended to attach permanently and use as a solid component. So for example, lathe headstock gears, drill bush in jig plate, steel rings on a wooden bullock cart's wheels, etc. That is a permanent joint. So the minimum permissible diameter of the shaft, that will be larger than the maximum permissible diameter of the hole. So it is a permanent joint. So you can see in a diagram. So you can see the diagram B. So in a diagram A, the clearance fit that is shown. At the middle, there is a hole that is shown. On a left hand side, there is a shaft. So this is the first category of the fit, that is clearance fit. You can see clearly there is a considerable difference between the hole diameter and the shaft diameter, so that the shaft that can move very easily. And on a right hand side, you can see the shaft diameter, it is always larger than the hole diameter. So this is called the interference fit. So that will the permanent joint. Now we will see the types of interference fit. First is force fit. So force fits are employed when the mating parts are not required to be disassembled during their total service life. In this case, the interference is quite high and therefore high pressure is required for assembly. So it is a permanent type assembly. For example, gears on a shaft of a concrete mixer, forging machines, etc. Then second type is tight fit. So it provides less interference than the force fit. So tight fits are employed for mating parts that may be replaced while overhauling of the machine. For example, step pulleys on a drive shaft of a conveyor, cylindrical grinding machines, etc. And third is heavy force and shrink fit. It refers to the maximum negative allowance. Hence, considerable force is necessary for the assembly. So that is interference fit. Then third category of the fit is transition fit. So in this fit, the diameter of the maximum permissible hole is greater than that of the smallest, that is minimum permissible shaft. But the minimum permissible hole is smaller than the maximum permissible shaft. So transition fit is neither loose nor tight as like clearance fit and interference fit. The tolerance zones of the shaft and the hole will be overlap between the interference and clearance fits. So you can see in a diagram. So small positive or negative clearance between the shaft and the hole members are employable. So the types of transition fits are, first is ringing fit. The ringing fit provides either zero interference or a clearance. These are used where the parts can be replaced without difficulty during minor repairs. Second type of transition fit is push fit. The fit provides small clearance. It is employed for parts that must be disassembled during operation of a machine. For example, change gears or slip bush, etc. That is regarding the transition fit. Now, the next is allowance. So, allowance is the prescribed difference between the dimensions of the two mating parts for any type of fit. It is the intentional difference between the lower limit of the hole and higher limit of the shaft. So, the allowance may be positive or negative. The positive allowance is called clearance and the negative allowance is called interference. That is called a allowance. Then general terminology in fits. So you can see the various elements in fits. So the shaft it is shown and the hole it is shown and the different elements that are shown. So the first is the shaft. The term shaft refers not only to the diameter of the circular shaft but also to any external dimension of the component, that is called the shaft. Then we will see what is hole. So the term hole refers not only to the diameter of the circular hole but also to any internal dimension of a component. So internal dimension of the component means it is a hole. When an assembly is made of two parts, one is known as male surface and the other mating surface is as a female surface. Then we will see what is basic size or nominal size. So you can see in the basic size that is shown. You can see in a diagram the basic size. So it is the standard size of a part with reference to which the limits of variation of a size are determined. So that is called the basic size of the shaft or basic size of the hole. So it is a standard size on which the limits of variations are given. The basic size is the same for the hole and its shaft for mating surfaces. When there is an assembly, then the basic size of the shaft and the hole that will be same. It is the design size obtained by calculations for strength. That is called the basic size. So you can see the basic size. Then limits of size. So these are the maximum and minimum permissible sizes acceptable for the specific dimension. The operator is expected to manufacture the component within these sizes. The maximum limit of size is the greater of the two limits of the size, whereas the minimum limit of size is the smaller of the two. Then actual size. It is the dimension as measured on a manufactured part. Then zero line. You can see in this diagram that is a zero line. You can see on the right hand side, zero line or line of zero deviation. So it is a straight line drawn horizontally to represent the basic size. It is the graphical representation of limits and fits. All the deviations are shown with respect to the zero line, that is also called the datum line. Then deviation. We will see what is deviation. So it is the algebraic difference between the size, that is actual or maximum, etc., and the corresponding basic size. So it is the algebraic difference between the size and the basic size. Algebraic difference between the size for the hole or the shaft, actual size of the hole or the shaft, and the basic size. Then upper deviation. It is the algebraic difference between the upper, that is maximum limit of size, and corresponding basic size. So you can see the upper deviation that is given for the shaft, you can see on a right hand side, and on a left hand side also the upper deviation that is given for the hole. Like that, lower deviation for the shaft that is given on a shown on a right hand side, and a lower deviation for the hole that is shown on a left hand side. So the upper deviation means it is the algebraic difference between the upper, that is maximum limit of size, you can check in a diagram, and the corresponding basic size. It is a positive quantity when the maximum limit of size is greater than the basic size, and the negative quantity when the maximum limit of size is less than the basic size. So it is denoted by capital ES for hole and small letters ES for shaft. So you can see here the deviation in the third element that is shown, that is a upper deviation. Then we will see what is lower deviation. Lower deviation for the shaft as well as the hole. The lower deviation means it is the algebraic difference between the lower limits of the size and corresponding basic size. It is a positive quantity when the lower limit of size is greater than the basic size. The negative quantity when lower limit of size is less than the basic size. So it is denoted by capital EI for the hole and small ei for the shaft. Then fundamental deviation. So fundamental deviation is that, so you can see the diagram. So fundamental deviation is that one of the two deviations, either the upper or the lower deviation, which is nearest to the zero line for either hole or a shaft, that is called a fundamental deviation. When the tolerance zone is above the zero line, lower deviation is the fundamental deviation, and when the tolerance zone is below the zero line, the upper deviation is fundamental deviation. Then basic shaft. Basic shaft is the shaft whose upper deviation is 0, and basic hole means the basic hole is that hole whose lower deviation is 0. So that is regarding the general terminology in fits. Now we will see the system of fits. So a fit system is the system of standard allowance to suit specific range of basic size. If this standard allowance or allowances are selected properly and assigned in mating parts, ensures specific classes of fit. So there are two systems of fits for obtaining clearance, interference, and transition fit. These are the first, that is a hole basis system, and second, that is a shaft basis system. So first we will see what is hole basis system. So you can see the diagram, the basic size, the hole it is given, and the different, so shaft, three shafts sizes are shown to obtain different types of fits, that is clearance fit, transition fit, and interference fits. So a limit system is said to be on a hole basis when the hole it is a constant member and different fits are obtained by varying the sizes of the shaft. So you can see the hole it is fixed and different fits are obtained by varying the sizes of the shaft. So you can see the clearance fit, The shaft size, it is smaller than the hole. There is a clearance. Then transition fit, you can see the shaft size is varied or increased, and you will get the interference fit by increasing the size of the shaft. So there will be the no clearance, that will be the permanent joint. You will get the permanent joint for interference fit. So hole, it is a constant member, and shaft size, it is varied to get the different types of fits. That is called a hole basis system. Then shaft basis system. A limit system is said to be on a shaft basis when the shaft, it is a constant member and different fits are obtained by varying the size of the hole. So you can see the shaft diameter, it is same, and hole diameter, it is varied to get the different types of fits. Then there is a difference between the hole basis and shaft basis system, that is shown in a chart. So first, that is a basic system, it is a hole system, and second column there is a shaft system. So you can see the different points to get the difference between the hole basis and the shaft basis system. So this is regarding limits, fits and tolerances. Thank you.